Hey guys, thank you so much for stopping by my channel for another video. While you're here, please make sure to like the video, hit that notification bell, and subscribe. You guys already know the views that I express are my own personal opinions for research and commentary, and everything is alleged. So let's get into this video, guys. Marceau and his arrogance, and Tisha stopped by Carlos King's podcast this week. And when I tell you Marceau was Marceauing, my goodness. So it starts off with this clip of Marceau saying that basically Mel and Martell needed more people for the show, and the more people was him. Well, them. But you guys know Tisha doesn't really bring much. But what I got from that clip alone is Marceau is basically taking credit for the success of Love in Marriage Huntsville. Boy, bye. Because what have Marceau really shared? And before I get into the podcast, let's revisit an interview that Carlos King had with the Insider earlier this year of why he doesn't force Marceau to answer infidelity question or anything else for that matter. So in this interview, Carlos said that you would think it would frustrate Tisha more than me, right? So my DNA is following the reality, and for me, we're documenting what real couples are going through, and not all marriages operate the same way. So the fact that Marceau gets to dance around the question in his marriage is very interesting. Carlos then goes on to say, I don't get so involved in terms of what the narrative is, because that's the mistake a producer can make if they don't follow what's real. So imagine if I was like, no, you've got to answer the question. It wouldn't be as interesting as seeing him not answer it, and I think that's super fascinating to watch. And I call bullshit. I don't find it fascinating to watch at all to let Marceau skirt around the issues that's being discussed. But let me continue. And then in this interview, Carlos was asked why he was unable to get straight answers about the Scotts' marriage. And he said, we did a director's cut of the 3-part reunion. And in that cut, you saw how the Scotts were over an hour late to arrive on set. Tisha had this big wardrobe malfunction. So, long story short, we did not have that much time to cover everything. Bullshit. And one of the things that we had to make that tough decision on was not being able to get Marceau and Tisha's marriage. I was so pissed off about that. But hey, we have a reunion coming up, so I have more questions to ask. So guys, take a listen to these clips. I will be giving commentary throughout, so I'll play a clip and stop it and give my opinions on it and move on. But I'll start off by saying, it's the audacity for me.
Currently, some of your fans, Marceau, ask you, why don't you ever thank Melody for the opportunity? We're waiting for it. And you said something along the lines of, well, keep waiting. Why is that, Marceau?
Can we be fair about that also? Wasn't you guys introduced to like 20 other couples before y'all finally met us?
Yeah, how many
other couples was there before us? The Scotts.
Well, Carlos, let me ask you a question.
I'm just asking.
To be fair, if you're saying that they came to you and they said, we'd like to do this show by ourselves, and you said, hey, you need more people to do what you want to do.
Well, I didn't say that exactly, but because people like to twist words, unfortunately. So I said to them, because I'm going to follow you because we're Libras, and trust me and you are the same person. So what I did say to them was, I love y'all. This idea could work, but I have a bigger idea that could make a bigger impact.
I guess what I'm trying to say is, if they needed more people and we were the more people that happened to be needed, I guess the end result is who should thank who?
That's a lot of thank you that should be going around.
When I tell you that shit was comical to me, let's be clear. This show wouldn't be shit without Mel and Martell and what they went through. Period. What the hell has the Scots really shared? Any of them. Scots 1.0 and 2.0. Not a damn thing. So for them to try to take credit for the success of this show is beyond me. So I guess if you call Marceau year after year making Tisha look like a goddamn fool, then yeah, they played a part in being successful in that area. And Tisha, we are currently on season 5, and you are still talking about infidelities and people trying to break up your marriage. Not marriage, marriage. Girl, if you don't take your delusional ass on somewhere, what do people have to thank Tisha for? Her whole disposition in saying that just cracked me up, really, because it's the delusion for me. So if Tisha want to call her showing women that in the year of 2022 that she's okay with being told what to do by her husband like she's in the caveman days, then yeah, you were successful.
How did you console her in this, and what did you say to her for her to realize that you can't pay attention to these people? Because one thing about you, Marceau, you clap back, and I feel like you enjoy it.
The internet, to me, like we were talking about Facebook earlier, it's been like a lunch table. It reminds me of high school so much. You got the cool guys, you got the jocks, you got the funny guys, and we grew up poor and funny. So one thing that everybody knows when you're poor is that you better have hands or jokes, and sometimes both, right? So my thing is, I'm not a bully. I always counter strike. I don't strike out.
So you guys heard Marceau say he doesn't strike. He only counter strikes. So who struck him when he inserted himself in Mel and Martell's online beef about a month ago? Who struck him? And also, who struck him when they were joking about this custody battle that Mel and Martell is facing? No one. So that's all that I could really take of that podcast, guys. And I made it a point to put in Carlos's interview from earlier this year for a reason. Carlos will never force them, and I guess he really can't. But all we will ever get from Marceau and Tisha is what they want to share. And basically, we will continue to get them talking about the stars of the show, Melody and Martell. And as long as they can keep Martell reeled in, it's going to be that way for however many seasons they get renewed. That's just it, and that's all. But they did talk about the pressures of social media and the comments and all of that. And I don't think that people hate them. I think people want them to be real. I think people want them to talk about their issues because everyone has them. And that's what social media is for. So people on Twitter is going to talk. People on Instagram and Facebook is going to talk. People on YouTube is going to talk. So I don't think that people just want to be mean, in quotation marks, but some of us will just call out the bullshit. You know, we watch this show and we use our platforms to discuss our opinions, and they won't always be favorable. And Carlos had mentioned early on, and I know you guys remember this, that Marceau wanted to quit the show, season 1, because he didn't know that his personal issues and his personal business may come up on this show. He thought that it was all going to be about the businesses that they were running and everything concerning that. And you know what? Marceau, with Carlos telling him, no, stay, focus on your business and all of that, and not really holding him to the fire, Marceau has been able to do just that. Marceau is running a well-oiled machine. And he's really playing this reality TV game to his advantage. And I'm not really mad at him. You know, if they can collect the check, talking about other people and not really getting into the rumors that's going around about them, things that's really going on in their life, i.e. lawsuit and things of that nature in Martell's voice, then yeah, I would collect a check too. And no one expects them to kiss Mel, especially, and Martell's ass, but to make them your storyline year after year and then act like they owe you thanks, that's a joke. Because again, what have you given is the big question. What have you shared? Nothing. We've watched Marceau make a joke of everything, and it looks like that's going to continue in season 6. So naturally, all parties make up the show. That is true. But this show wouldn't have even seen a season 2, in my opinion, without Mel and Martell. That's just it. So like I said, guys, this is all that I can take of that podcast. I just kept fast forwarding and all of that. You know, it is what it is when it comes to Marceau and Tisha. But you guys drop down and let me know your thoughts about this. Do you think that Mel and Martell owes any of the other cast members thanks for the success of this show? Or do you think, like I think, that we wouldn't even have seen a season 2 without Mel and Martell? So drop down, let me know your thoughts about everything. Please make sure to like the video, hit that notification bell, and subscribe. Chat with you guys soon. Bye.